8 guests.
Okay, now tell me who you got.
Hayes Watkins, Leon Page, Jody Richards, Gary Ransdell, Bob Jefferson, Glenda Ford, Gordon Ford, Don Vitale.
Okay, 8. So
We've got 9 up here.
Okay, so let's scoot this in.
One room on the other side.
Just like you said. Oh my goodness.
You can fit one, but I want to leave the room for that easel. I don't want somebody sitting right behind it. Yeah, we want the, hey Lucinda, I think you want the Fords and the President on John's side. And the President, so 3. 3 on that side, and then Jefferson, and then just come this way. Watkins right there.
Center and
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have some seats here if any of you would like to come up and fill the seats that we have. I know this is a beautiful day, a typical spring day in Bowling Green, but we do have some seats, and if you'd like to move up, we will start the proceedings. Let me welcome you. My name is Hayes Watkins, and I'm a BU graduate. I guess that makes me a stepson of Western, although I like to tell people that Dr. Cherry started BU before he came up the hill, so I think this makes us at least kissing cousins, if not more. But we do welcome all of you today for a very great occasion. Speaking of BU, let me start by introducing 2 of the daughters of Mr. J. Murray Hill Sr., Jean Hill Moore and Linda Moore. Linda Hill Wright. Jean Hill Moore and Linda Hill Wright. We're happy to have you, and welcome to us. And we also have Jean's son Hamp and daughter Linda. So we're happy to have you. We had a chance to talk about the days. Those of you that didn't know, the lady's father, Murray Hill, missed a wonderful, gracious, austere individual. He was great and brings back many memories that I'm sure some of us on the stand have here. I believe also State Representative Roger Thomas is here. At least he was here earlier. Are you here? He was with us earlier this morning. Let me now introduce Leon Page, who is chairman of the board of the Franklin Bank and Trust, for the invocation.
Thank you, Hayes, and also a BU grad. I must put that in. Shall we bear our head for a word of prayer, please? Thank you, Lord, for this beautiful day that you have given us. What a glorious day you've given us here for this dedication ceremony. We're grateful for the memories that we have here of the Bowling Green Business University and for the influence that that university had on individuals like Gordon Ford, whom we are here today to honor. We know that those memories will live on now that BU and Western have joined forces together as the Gordon Ford College of Business to educate our young people and prepare them for the business world into which they will be entering. Thank you, Lord, for the leadership that has been provided to this College of Business and for the vision and leadership provided by President of Western to lead us into the 21st century. Thank you for the resources that the Gordon Ford family has made available to Western, and we pray that they will be used wisely toward accomplishing the goals of this great university. All of these things we ask in your name. Amen.
Let me introduce the people behind me. On my right, Mrs. Gordon Ford, Glenda. Next to her, our honoree with Glenda, Gordon Ford. Mr. President, Gary Ransdell, who needs no introduction with this group. Dean Robert Jefferson of the Gordon Ford College of Business. Leon Page, you've just heard from. The Honorable Jody Richards, Speaker of the House of Representatives. And Mr. Don Vitale, who is the Chairman of the Business Advisory Committee. I will first introduce Speaker Richards, who will speak on behalf of the state government, and then we will hear expressions of appreciation from President Ransdell and from Dean Jefferson. Then we will have a special unveiling and a response from Mr. Ford, and our program will close with remarks from Mr. Vitale, who is the chair of the Business School Advisory Committee. Now, with great pleasure, the Honorable Jody Richards.
I think my colleague, Senator Brett Guthrie, is here. Brett, glad to have you. Thank you, Hayes, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to share with you in one of Western Kentucky University's finest moments. We're here today to recognize a contribution from a gentleman who's truly touched our lives and touched Western's future. Those of us here will never forget his kindness, while the business leaders of tomorrow will forever be indebted to his generosity. This investment will pay dividends for decades to come. What Gordon Ford has done is put his financial resources in Kentucky's greatest resource, its people. With the help of his contribution, Western will provide our students the tools they need to build on the success that our Commonwealth is now experiencing and has been experiencing for several years. Western has set its sights high, intending to have the premier business undergraduate program in Kentucky. This contribution will support student and faculty alike in reaching that goal. It will fund their research projects and the technological enhancements that are more necessary than ever to succeed. Just as importantly, this contribution will also help graduates develop personally and professionally. Part of the money will be matched with the Regional University Excellence Trust Fund to create an endowed professorship that will enhance what the fine faculty here have to offer. This fund was created 2 years ago by the General Assembly and has been an effective tool in generating financial resources for our universities, which are on a mission to rank among the nation's finest. More than ever, it seems people are contributing to schools where they have close ties, so that money from this fund can be leveraged. This program has been a success from the moment it began. With this gift, Gordon Ford is now following the lifestyle of another person famous for his philanthropy, Andrew Carnegie. Mr. Carnegie believed, like Mr. Ford, that money should be used to uplift and elevate and benefit humanity. Because of his generosity, Mr. Carnegie is remembered today not by how he acquired his wealth, but how he dispensed his wealth. His legacy lives on in the libraries and schools he funded and countless lives he touched. For those of us who love Western, Gordon Ford will be remembered in much the same way. His legacy will live on in our memories as a person who used his resources to improve the lives of countless students, many of them yet unborn. As many of you realize, Gordon's family has a long association with this university. His mother was a student here 90 years ago, just after the school moved up the hill. Mr. Ford himself arrived in 1931 and went on to graduate from the Bowling Green Business University 3 years later. Since 1992, he has given 10 or more scholarships annually to worthy students at Western. This dedication to today's youth is an example for all of us to follow. Not only does Mr. Ford contribute financially to the well-being of tomorrow, he also contributes other commodities that are needed just as much: his talents and his time. Mr. Ford, I thank you personally for everything you've done for Western Kentucky University and for the Commonwealth of Kentucky. By providing the largest gift ever to this university from a single donor, you have paved the way for a brighter future for the students of today and of the tomorrows. We can calculate how much you have given, but there is no way to determine how to calculate what it will mean to the students who benefit from your gifts. It's been a pleasure being here today and greeting old friends and to thank Gordon Ford. Because of his generosity, the college that now bears his name is prepared to attain new heights and to achieve a level unimaginable before. It will produce graduates well prepared to create a successful career, not one that is just rewarding financially. Of course, hopefully that will be the case, but more importantly, one that is satisfying to self and family, and one that is of service to others. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. There are a couple introductions that I would like to make before making a few comments. I do want to introduce members of our Board of Regents who are with us today. Sitting on the front row, Board Chair Cornelius Martin, Lois Gray, Stephanie Cosby, and Jim Tennell. Thank you folks for being here. I would also like to introduce and welcome back to the Western Campus David Jordan, the Managing Partner for PricewaterhouseCoopers. David, where are you standing? Welcome. Thank you. And I'd like to acknowledge two other individuals, one of whom is with us, one of whom we all know and remember and love. Kelly Thompson and Daryl Downing crafted the partnership between the Business University and Western Kentucky University, and Daryl Downing is sitting right over here. Let's acknowledge the work that those two gentlemen did to create this merger. We are gathered to recognize Gordon Ford in the highest manner. Dedication of our College of Business in his name. The Gordon Ford College of Business will herewith carry the name of this generous donor and graduate of the Business University who has said he believes that education is the hope of the world. Gordon and Glenda, you have given hope to present and future Western Kentucky University students through your commitment of $10.1 million in gifts to support Western's Business College. Investments from this fund will support student and faculty scholarship, research projects, technological enhancements, and social leadership development for graduates, in addition to continuing funding of a scholarship program for accounting and business majors that you began in 1992. I've said it before, but I wish to repeat that this gift, the largest we've received, will be transformational, not only for Western, but for the community and the region as well. It will provide a solid foundation for growth into the next century and beyond, for it will serve as a backbone of strength for the implementation of the university's current 5-year strategic plan and the plans which will follow. By now you've read or heard about Gordon Ford, whose family has had connections with Western for more than 90 years. His mother received a teaching certificate from Western in 1906, the year Western was founded, and Gordon Ford graduated from the Bowling Green Business University in 1934. He has numerous ties with education, including giving 10 or more scholarships since 1992. As I mentioned, he was one of the founders of Kentucky Southern College and served as a trustee at Bellarmine College and the Southern Baptist Theological Seminary in Louisville. But did you know the Students' Weekly, a joint Western BU paper, ran an item on January 9, 1936, headlined, "A Compliment for the Business University." The story reported that Gordon Ford, age 22, is the youngest certified public accountant in Louisville, and who has been notified by the Tennessee Board of Examiners that he has passed the examination required for the position in that state. He took the Tennessee examination because he is too young to qualify in Kentucky, where the minimum age is 25. Staff in the university archives have put that letter on display in the Grice Hall lobby exhibit case, where you can also see a letter from J.R. Meany, one of the legendary BU faculty, to Gordon Ford. In that letter, Meany, who had just received his CPA, said this, "Old timer, I'm so glad you got it. You have a great deal to be proud of. This is a sort of exclusive, or at least a reasonably exclusive club we've joined. But at your age, to be certified is a real trick, and I'm proud of you." The Meany Holland Memorial Fund at Western was established in 1984 in the names of J.R. Meany and J.C. Holland, accounting professors at the Bowling Green Business University. And the fund currently provides 2 professorships in accounting, one named for Mr. Meany and one named for Mr. Holland. And so many of you BU graduates have been so generous in supporting that fund, which is now some $1 million with the help of a recent appropriation from the state, Mr. Speaker. I might add that the Grice Hall exhibit offers other memorabilia relating generally to business education at the Southern Normal School, BU, and Western. Gordon Ford, native of Greenville, graduate of BU at Western, became a founding partner in the accounting Ford and Warren in Louisville. The firm merged with the firm of Coopers and Lybrand, which recently merged with Price Waterhouse. Gordon is a member of the WKU Board of Advisors and a director of the WKU Foundation. Now in retirement, he spends his time in both Louisville and Village of Gulf, Florida. Western's Business College can trace its roots back to 1874, known as the Business University, until 1963, when those colleges merged, the BU and Western. Western's Bowling Green College of Commerce was created. Later to be changed to the Bowling Green College of Business Administration, the college has now come full circle from its rich heritage as a business university to the Gordon Ford College of Business. During the last 18 months, I have personally had the privilege of spending important time with several BUers who became leaders in this community and have stayed close with the Western family. I've had a marvelous opportunity to get to know Leon Page and Jerry Baker and Hayes Watkins and Top Orendorff and Harry Peart, Carl Kelly, Harold Kelly, Larry Shelton, Herb Smith and Jerry Parker, and so many others in the BU family that have become very important, not only to me personally, but to this university. I continue to be inspired by the leadership and commitment displayed by many in the BU community and many others who are with us today. The Business University was well recognized for the quality and rigor of its programs. Students came from the Southeast region, but especially from Kentucky, Ohio, West Virginia, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, Illinois, and other states in our region. Preparation for the accounting profession was a hallmark of BU, which transcended to WKU and our current era, a quality of teaching effectiveness and a securing of well-qualified accounting faculty who remain as important to the achievement of our goals at Western Kentucky University. They continue to prepare competent graduates to meet the challenges and opportunities throughout the world of business today and in the future. Let me give you some interesting facts about Gordon Ford's era in accounting. 1934, the year he graduated from BU, the Dow Jones average was 100. Think about that one. The number of successful examination candidates receiving CPAs in Kentucky was 7. The population in the United States was 125 million people, and life expectancy was 61 years. Here's a quote from Gordon Ford from his book, A History of the Professional Practice of Accounting in Kentucky, 1875 to 1965, published in 1968. And Gordon, Carl Kelly gave me this book just a few weeks ago, and you need to know that it's now going in the Western Library. So you are now a published author in the library of Western Kentucky University, an important element for the Gordon Ford College of Business. But Gordon said, "People do not like to change, but in every area there are newer and better ways of doing old things." A hallmark of the Gordon Ford College of Business will be its responsiveness to a changing environment. And Gordon, you have our commitment that we will deliver on that promise. We have a bright future. Today is truly a day of importance in the history of Western and for our business programs. Building upon traditions from the Business University and from Gordon Ford, the future education of business students in the Gordon Ford College of Business will reflect new ideas, doing business throughout the world, raising expectations for student and faculty achievement and accomplishment, and producing highly competent graduates prepared to meet the challenges and programs which will emerge in every generation. Gordon Ford, we thank you.
Thank you, President Ransdale. Good morning. I'd like to talk about 3 words: vision, leadership, and change. As we celebrate this landmark event, I urge you to consider the history and foundations which led to the dedication of the Gordon Ford College of Business. The founding of BU 125 years ago, the beginning of Gordon's career as a professional accountant in the 1930s, the joining of BU with Western in 1963, and the generosity of the Fords to advance both the quality and the opportunities for study and business at Western Kentucky University. Mr. Ford has demonstrated vision throughout his career. Notable moments included going to BU and earning a degree and his designation as a CPA. In his entrepreneurial act of forming and growing a highly successful accounting firm, which was the first accounting firm in Kentucky to require a college degree for employment. Examples of leadership include the acknowledgement and credit which Gordon Ford gave to others for their contributions to the firm, within the accounting profession, and in addition to that, when we read his book, In the History of Professional Accounting, Gordon gives much credit to the progress of this profession to many others throughout the state. His leadership and belief in education brought a gift that will forever change student and faculty opportunities and accomplishments here at Western Kentucky University. And the last notion of change. Mr. Ford at one time was speaking about accounting practices, and he had a couple of quotes, and President Ransdell and I both read a couple of different parts of this book. He said that inherited knowledge and tradition are no longer in keeping with reality. He went on to say, the firm must modernize and re-examine the ways of managing the firm, seeking out new services to render, and find better ways of doing old things. People who do not make these changes will be left behind. That would appear to be good advice for all of us. Today, our college mission and shared values reflect the vision, leadership, and the quest for change characterized by Gordon Ford. Indeed, it is an exciting time as we look forward to the next century for the Gordon Ford College of Business. At this time, I'd like to ask Linda and Gordon to step forward. On behalf of the present and future students, faculty, and staff in the Gordon Ford College of Business, I'm pleased to present a replica of the 2 engraved plaques which are now in Grice Hall. The plaque reads, "The Gordon Ford College of Business, dedicated on May 7th, 1999, Western Kentucky University. Mr. Ford, a CPA and graduate of Bowling Green Business University, was a founding partner in the public accounting firm of Yeager, Ford, and Warren. As a leader in efforts to professionalize public accounting, his vision highlighted the value of education as a means of fostering change in public accounting practices. Mr. Ford, a native of Greenville, Kentucky, has lifelong interest and ties in Kentucky and to Western Kentucky University. He is a retired partner in the CPA firm now known as PricewaterhouseCoopers. Congratulations, and thank you very much, Glenda and Gordon."
They said it was my time. It is a big day for Glenda and me. I feel like a barrel full of water that's running over on the sides. It's just pouring out on the sides because of the nice things that have been said to me today. This is really a big day for us, and we're very happy to be here, of course, and several friends and relatives are here, and I appreciate them coming. And besides establishing the Gordon Ford College of Business, we also established the Mattie Newman Ford Professorship in honor of my mother. I'm particularly proud of the professorship in honor of my mother, who, despite hardships during the Great Depression while I went to college, she instilled in me a deep respect for education. As I've said many times, I think education is the hope of the world. And as it's been said, my mother attended Western in 1907, 8, and 9. So you see, I have a 92-year relationship with Western. She got her teacher certificate and taught at a one-room school until 1912 when she got married. In 1932, she went back to teaching for 3 years to send me to college. And as I said before, I didn't work my way through college like many people did. My mother worked my way through college. And I'm pleased about this. She was going to make sure that her son would graduate. Jesse Stewart, the author, once wrote, "I am firm in my belief that a teacher lives on and through their students. Good teaching is forever, and the teacher is immortal." And I believe that. I believe that. And I think the professors, they do such a wonderful job and are well received. Through this professorship, Mattie Newman Ford can keep on teaching forever. Mary Nixon a CPA and a graduate, has established the Mary Nixon Professorship in Accounting. We all thank her for this, and I hope this will inspire others to go and do likewise. Dean Jefferson is working hard toward moving the College of Business to a new level. I hope our contribution will help. I would like to see a great demand by companies seeking out business graduates from Western. The region of Western Kentucky produced managing partners of 3 of the big 5 global accounting firms. David Jordan, who's present, from Madisonville. He's the managing partner of PricewaterhouseCoopers. David Rogers from Hopkinsville is Ernst & Young managing partner. Doug Sumner of Lewisburg, the big town of Lewisburg, close by, was the managing partner of Pete Marwick. And I, of course, from Greenville, was the managing partner of the firm that's now known as PricewaterhouseCoopers. So there must be in the water something around here that makes CPAs and managing partners. There are others, of course. Soon we will be in the 21st century. The 20th century has had more progress and more development than all the previous centuries combined. Just think of the many developments in the 20th century, a few of which are computers. We didn't have those. They didn't have those in the 20th century. TV, radios, atomic bomb, airplanes, walked on the moon, discovery of penicillin, development of automobiles, the polio vaccine that's practically eliminated polio, jet airplanes, cellular phones. Now everybody has cellular phones and walking around and talking over the phone all the time. And just think, in 1920, we even gave women the right to vote. Now this has been a great century, and although I don't know what's coming, I expect the 21st century to be even greater. It's estimated that we will have 335 million people in 2025, just 25 years from now. I'd like to be president. But anyway, longevity in the United States has increased 28 years in this century. Education is the key to economic and other success. Through universities, we'll be upgrading knowledge and skills needed to move to a new level. That's where I hope the Gordon Ford College of Business will come in. We must prepare our graduates for what's coming in the 21st century, the intellectual challenges to change the world. I'm convinced that the coming years will be a disappointing time for a pessimist. Thank you.
First, I'd like to say, for an old manufacturing guy, these eloquent speakers are difficult acts to follow on, so my comments will be very brief this morning. First of all, Gordon and Glenda, on behalf of the Business Advisory Council of the Business School, I bring you greetings and deep thanks and appreciation for your outstanding leadership gift. The Advisory Council believes that it's a watershed event and that the gift will serve to encourage many other alumni and friends to share their time, talent, and treasure with the business school in the future. In addition, it seems that the gift will serve to enhance for generations students and faculty and families and communities. And what a tremendous legacy that will be to perpetuity for the Ford family, and we thank you. I know that Gordon is a fine golfer, and it occurred to me that perhaps I should invite him. I also have a home in Florida, and he lives in Florida, and I should invite him to play golf with me. But then I heard how well he plays golf, so I decided not to, since he would probably win back a portion or a major portion of his earnings off of me the way I play golf. So it's just a well, we want to thank all of you for being here today. It's a historical ceremony, and thank you all for attending. And I believe that lunch follows. Thank you all.
Yes, I meant to say my cousin, Laura Bell Ford Dukes, my first cousin, who was 92 on April 8th, is here. Laura Bell, will you stand up? Now, I have some other relatives here, but they're not 92. She was awfully nice to my mother during her later years. My mother lived to be almost 107, and Laura Bell visited her every week for several years. So I'm grateful to her for that and many other things. So thank you, Laura Bell.
Let me again thank you for being here. For those of you who will be joining us for the luncheon, there will be shuttle buses out in front of Grice Hall. And again, on behalf of all of us, Gordon and Glenda, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
We're dismissed.